Let's lift them up. This is my Bible.
This is my Bible.
I believe the words that are written in it.
I believe the words that are written in it.
I receive the blessings from it.
I receive the blessings from
I
it.
can achieve all things through
I
it.
can achieve all things through
I mean,
it.
you know, I probably said that, I don't know how many times, I still got to think what to say. So, anyway, you know, life can be difficult at times. And really, what makes life the most difficult, I think, are the people in our lives. You know, if you have people that support you, that encourage you, you know, life is a little bit easier. But when you have people coming against you, trying to wreak havoc, trying to cause drama and stuff like that, and that's when life gets spinning out of control, and we feel as if, you know, we just want to give up, we just want to walk away, and we just want to call it quits. But, you know, I know in this world that we live in, there's not a lot of people that do great things. I mean, very rarely do you meet someone that is willing to just bend over backwards to help you out. I mean, how many of you got people in your life like that? No matter what, you know, they're here. I mean, you got maybe like one or possibly two, but it's not like you got more people in your life that could care less about you than those that would actually bend over backwards. And sadly, sometimes not even family members. You would think family, above all else, should be there to help you out. But sometimes the people closest to you are the ones that give you the most headaches in life. You know, for many people, when they're asked to help someone out, their first thought is, why should I? Well, why should I help them out? You know, someone's going around and say, hey, you know, we're taking up a collection, or, you know, we're all doing this or doing that, and they're like, you know, would you like to give? Why should I? Why should I help this person out? And then we ask, you know, well, what's in it for me? What am I going to get out of it? You know, everyone's looking, okay, I'll scratch your back, but you better believe you're going to scratch mine when I need it. Very rarely do you find people that just are willing, just, you know, I feel God wants to use me to bless you, and so I'm going to do it. But a lot of times we get very judgmental when we hear people asking for a need. You know, why do they even need that now anyways? You know, or what mess did they cause themselves to get in this situation? Because if they were smart, or if they made the right choices, they wouldn't be in this issue. And we're so quick to judge people instead of just saying, hey, how can I help you? Now, I'm not just saying, you know, we could just go and live life however we want and just expect everyone to bail us out. I'm not going that direction. Because sometimes people do make stupid mistakes, and sometimes they need to live with those. But a lot of times there are people that really have desperate needs, and we're so quick to judge them. Or we wonder, you know, the biggest thing, you know, kind of upsets me, like, you know, every time I go to my bank, I always get stopped at that red light on Tower Overland. There's always this guy sitting there, looking very pitiful with his sign, his head down. And I always get stopped right next to him. So I just get my phone out and call. But I'm like, you know, like, I'm going to ask that guy, you know, why are you sitting there? Why aren't you going getting a job? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? What, you know, what did you do in life that you feel as if you got to be pitied? And, you know, why can't you put a smile on your face at least, you know? And so, but is that right of me to think that? No, but I can guarantee you every one of you thought that too. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, I haven't given him anything. You know, if God tells me to give him something, I probably will. Or sometimes when I'm going that way, I make sure I don't have any cash on me, so I don't feel obligated, you know. When you got money in your pocket, you're like, oh, I don't want to give. So if you ain't got money, you could just, oh, the offering place come around, oh, shoot, I forgot my wallet at home. You don't feel bad. But if you got money in your wallet and the offering plate comes around, hopefully you feel compelled to give. But a lot of times we tend to question, you know, what's this person's motive? Why are they asking for this help? You know, he says, we'll work for food. So I got some work that guy can do. I was thinking about testing him out, saying, okay, come do a day's work, and, you know, I'll give you a whole box full of food. Yeah. See what happens. I don't know. But we all feel as if we need a reason to do something good. And I mean, you ever ask anyone, smile? No, she actually did it. But anyways, and they tell you why. Why should I smile? I don't have nothing to be happy about. What's my reason for smiling? And see, we always feel as if we need a reason to do something good in life. In life, we have many opportunities to do great things, but instead of doing them, we just question the heck out of them, and we talk ourselves out of them. You know, and none of us lack opportunities to be a blessing to one another. You know, we'll sit there and be like, oh, should I help this person out? Should I help that? Oh, I don't know. You know, and we question it. Well, maybe I could do this, or maybe why not just help someone out? Why not be a blessing to someone? You know, I used the example before, you know, sometimes we feel compelled to give someone like $10. And we'll sit there, oh, I don't know. Should I give this person $10? What if they think I'm crazy? Or what if it's just me and it's not God prompting me? You know, give me $10. I don't care if God's telling you to do it or not. You know, it's not going to hurt someone. How many would be offended if I gave you $10 today? Would you be offended? Who does he think he is giving me money? No, I'll be like, oh, you know it.
You're not paying me to come to church, so forget that.
All right. But we don't need a reason to be kind to others. We don't need a reason to be compassionate for one another. We don't need a reason to just be a decent human being. Sometimes we feel as if we do, well, I'm not going to be nice to them. You know how they've spoken to me in the past? You know what they did to me? Why should I help them out? They never helped me out. Give me a reason why I need to go above and beyond and assist them. And we feel as if we need a reason to be decent. Whatever happened to just being a decent person? Because God loves us. And we're commanded to even love our enemies. You know, it's easy to love those people that love us back. That's easy to do. But those that just irk you, those that ridicule you, that really get on your last nerve, it's hard to love those people. When did we become so self-centered and so closed off to the needs of others? You know, we adopted that concept, you know, I got to help myself because no one else will. If I don't take care of, you know, myself, you know, who else will? And then because of that, because we're so focused on our own needs and our own wants and our own desires, that we neglect the other people around us. You know, there's always someone worse off. Always so. You think you got it bad, I can guarantee you there's someone who has it a lot worse. A lot worse. You know, I love that saying that says, you know, I complained I had no shoes, so I met a man who had no feet. There's always someone that is worse off than we are. And you know, that's not to make light of your situation, because I know, you know, everyone is dealing with a lot. And it's very serious to you. But we also need to put things in perspective. We have a roof over our head. We got food to eat. For the most part, you know, we're still kicking it and living. And so we need to be grateful for what God has given us. And in return, we need to go out and bless others. Jesus didn't have to suffer for us. He didn't have to lay down his life. But he freely did so that we might have life and life more abundantly. You know, he had a choice. He had a free will. You know, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, you know, the night before he was about to be betrayed and crucified and ridiculed and beaten beyond a, you know, pulpit, you know, he really contemplated things with God, his Father. He said, God, if there be any other way, let this cup pass before me. But he also said, but not my will, but your will be done. Are you willing to have God's perfect will be played out in your life? You know, there's a permissive will, you know, that will that he'll allow things to happen and everything, but then there's the perfect will. You know, exactly what God has decreed over our lives, exactly what he had planned for us before we were even born, before we were even thought of. And that's what we need to be seeking after, not just, oh, what I can do to get by, but what can I do to be the very best that I possibly can, and to live out the life that God has spoken over my life. If you want to make a difference in someone's life today, simply do something for no reason at all, just to encourage them, just to bless them. You know, it's time that we start putting the needs of others above our own. Now that doesn't happen very often, but it's time we start being God's outstretched arms into our environment, our community that we live in. Let our light shine before others, because we live in a very darkened world where a lot of things, you know, we think is hidden, but God sees it all. And a lot of times people's eyes are so blinded that as we allow our light to shine before them, they'll be able to see. And you'll just shock someone if you simply do something out of the kindness of your heart. Someone ever do something for you, and right away your first thought is, oh boy, what do they want? They're being nice to me. They have to want something. You know, you're like that with your kids. When your kids come up to you and give you a hug and say they love you, you know they want something. The new Xbox game, the new shoes, or something. Kids don't just love on you for the sake of loving on you. And sadly, we don't, all of a sudden someone's, ooh, I wonder why they're pulling in the driveway. What do they want? They don't want to just, oh, we just want to, I made this pie, I just wanted to bless you. No, everyone's working an angle. They are. I work an angle. It's not a very 90-degree angle sometimes, but everyone works an angle, and we think that everyone's working an angle. But simply being a blessing to someone is just, will blow their mind, seriously. I remember being in a grocery store one time, and there was this old man, and he didn't have enough money, and just paid for, the difference. I didn't pay for all of it, I'm not that great, but just the difference. And he couldn't believe, why are you doing this? No one ever did anything like this. Well, what can I do for you now? But it wasn't about what we can get from it, it's about what we can give. And even though if someone would just do something nice for someone else, and no, I just want to bless you, that's all I want to do, we still want something out of it. You know why? Because we'll go on social media and we'll post what we did. And then we want to read all the little comments. Oh, you're such a wonderful person. I wish there was more people like you in this world. We just sit there and we gloat. So we really got something out of it. We got the accolades, we got the pat on the backs, And so just doing something without anybody even knowing what you did doesn't happen very often. Because we always got to run and tell someone. Oh, you know what I did today? I blessed this person, and I just told them, how wonderful they are, and they were just so touched by it. But why am I telling another person? Because I want that person to now tell me how great I am. So it's still working an angle. But just do something and don't let anybody know you did it. And you'll amaze God even. He'll probably be speechless. But right away, we figure out, what angle is someone working or what do they want. But we need to be the example of Christ today. That's what we need to reach out for and strive to become. John 13:15 says, "For I have given you an example that you should also do as I have done unto you." And what has God done unto you today? Has He blessed you? Has He forgiven you? Has He saved you? Has He showed you grace? And has He showed you mercy? Has He showed you unconditional love? He tells us that we are to be the example, and just as He has done, we need to do as well. And so we need to be the example of Christ. A lot of times people aren't going to come to church to find God. They're not. But they can see the God within us. And that will be what draws them to the church. It draws them to His house. It draws them to the altars where they confess and give Christ their life. But a lot of times people always want to have a reason behind what they're about to do. And it has to be a reason that will benefit them. Have you ever been asked to do something and your response is, why not? Why not? Maybe it's something that you never really thought about. And you say, why not? What do I have to lose? Why not just try this? Sometimes in life, we just have to go with the flow, and we have to try new things. Sometimes we don't like to try new things because we get content in this life and what we have going on right now. But life at times can get a bit dull and a bit boring. So maybe it's time that you do try something new. Stepping out of your comfort zone can feel very overwhelming. But once you do it, look out. You ever do something or try something new and you're just amazed that, I can't believe I've never done this before. You ever feel that way? It's like, man, if I didn't try this, if I didn't do this, I would have missed out on this for the rest of my life. Discovering how rewarding something is that you've never done before, it can be a great feeling. Now, I recently did something I never did before. I made it 42 years without ever trying a sweet potato. And so someone offered me a sweet potato, what I said? Why not? Let me try it. Now, I wish I could say that it was the greatest thing I ever ate, but it wasn't the nastiest thing I ever ate. But I would have never known what it tasted like if I didn't just try it. And so sometimes in life, we just have to try things. We can't always be so closed-minded. People will say all this, how many of you enjoy fish eggs? You guys like fish eggs? Those that don't like fish eggs, have you at least tried fish eggs? Some of you have, but a lot of times we're so quick to say we don't like something, or I would never do that. But how do you know unless you do it? So, Bob will eat anything.
Liver, except liver.
Liver? Okay. Have you tried liver?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But the thing is we have to try things in life. And so, some people have never tried God. Some people have never attended a church. You know, you invite, oh, I've never gone to church. Why not? Why not give God a try today? Especially if you never give him an opportunity to pour into your life. Oh, we've never gone to church. Well, why not? What harm is it by going to, just go one Sunday. One Sunday. Why not give God a try? You know, I don't know a time that God has disappointed or come up short. God has great things in store for us, and he's just waiting for people to give him a try. That's why, you know, he stands at the door and he knocks. And he's just waiting for people to invite him in. So what is stopping us from giving God reign over our lives? What is stopping us from giving, you know, God an opportunity to use us? God has a perfect track record, and he just simply wants to bless you today. So if you can't figure something out, why not pray about it? Seriously. Try prayer. Just see what that does. You know, you need a miracle in your life? Why not ask God? I mean, what harm is it? Give God a try, and I promise that it'll probably be the best decision you ever make. I mean, and think about it. What harm is it? I've never prayed about something and it got worse because I prayed. Oh, I wish I didn't pray. Now look what happened. I've never experienced that, and I don't know anybody who has experienced it. You know, I've never said, oh, I asked God for help and life just got worse because I asked God. No, it doesn't work that way. So even if you pray and say you don't get an answer, are you any worse off than you were? No. That's like sometimes we want to ask someone something, oh, but I'm afraid they'll say no. But even if they do say no, you're not any worse off than you are right now. So why not give God a try? Why not, you know, as we're you know, Alice was talking about inviting people to church. You know, we all know people that don't go to church. We probably know more people that don't go to church than that do go to church. So why not just say, hey, you know, why not go to church with me next Sunday? Really, I mean, what do you got to lose? You know, it's like an hour out of your time. You know, you'll waste an hour doing anything else, so why not give God 1 hour out of the week? What do you have to lose? And you know, better yet, you know, afterwards, I'll take you out to dinner even. So you at least get a free meal if nothing else. So why not give God a try? Give God a try and see what he can do for you. Isaiah 43:18-19 says, remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. And that's what God wants to do. He wants to do a new thing in our lives. You know, so often we buck up against something new. So often we just want to stay with everything that is old because we don't like change. This is how we always did it, so we're just going to keep doing that. But we can never grow if we don't step out and try new things and do different things. You know, I remember for the longest time when we would go out and have a cheeseburger, I never would put anything on it. You know, my dad and brother would eat everything on it. And I just thought it was nasty. Did I ever try it? No. One day I tried it, and guess what? I loved it. And you can't put enough on it now. So you never know what God's going to do. You know, I could have just been content and just, I'm just going to cheese and that's it. Nothing more. Maybe a little dab of ketchup, not mustard. But we can't get stuck in our old ways. We got to continue striving to open ourselves up to new experiences. And, you know, and sometimes, you know, just because someone does something differently doesn't make it wrong because it's different from your way. It just means it's different. And if you try it, you might actually like it. So I think there comes a time where we got to say to ourselves, you know, let's just do this. You know, after much procrastination, we finally get the notion to do something. You know, a lot of times we put things off for the longest time, and, you know, it might be because you're tired, you don't feel like doing something, or it could be something you're dreading doing. I really hate to do this, but I just know I got to do it. And maybe you're just waiting to build up that courage. But suddenly, as time is just about to expire, you get up that notion and you say, you know, let's do this. It's time. I can't put it off any longer. You know, what you've been putting off for so long desperately needs done. And so we need to think to ourselves today, what is it that I've been putting off? I've been putting on the back burner, that I kept saying, you know, okay, next time, tomorrow, maybe then. So what is it that you've been putting off for whatever reason that you know you should have did a long time ago? See, God has a plan, He has a purpose, and He's laid things on our hearts for a reason. And there's a reason why you feel the urgency to do something right now. It's because that's what God has put inside you. And so, we keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But God is saying, today is your day. This is the day the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Maybe you've been feeling the need to reconcile with someone, and that we tend to put off. I don't know about you, but I don't like admitting I'm wrong. I don't like going up to somebody and saying, I'm sorry, I was wrong. So I'll put that off till the cows come home. Or whatever it may be, the time is now, and our breakthrough will only come once we get moving. And that's the key, is getting moving. Keep in mind that Rome wasn't built in a day. It wasn't. It takes time. A lot of times we set forth and we finally decide to do something, and we don't get the results as we pictured in our head right away. And so we're so quick to just want to give up and just say, forget it. I knew I shouldn't even attempted it. But it's a journey that we're on. This is a process that God is playing out in our lives. And so we got to give it time. The important thing is that we've at least started the process. It's kind of like cleaning your house. It would be nice if you could just snap your fingers and every room is clean. But it's a process. You start off in the living room, get that going. Then you move into the kitchen, get that going. Then the bathrooms and it. And before you know it, it's done. It doesn't happen overnight. But it's a process, and God wants to do some house cleaning in our hearts today. And I would love to say that everything is going to be perfect as soon as you walk out these doors, but I would be lying to you. But as long as the process begins, create in me a pure heart, oh God, and renew a right spirit in me. The hurt that you felt, that unforgiveness, that hatred, that resentment, that bitterness, it can begin to fall off of you little by little and day by day if we let it. We'll feel that anxiety begin to lessen. Those fears will begin to diminish. But we got to get moving. Life isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. And no one ever finished a marathon sitting on the couch. Right. We have to get up and we have to get moving. You see, we can talk all day long about the need of change that we need to make in our lives. But unless we get up and actually do something, nothing is ever going to take place. Oh, I know I need to go to church. How many times have you heard that when you ask someone to come to church? Oh, I know I need to get there. You ain't telling me nothing. And then do it. Well, just do it. Just do it. That's all we have to do. So tell yourself today, let's do this. Today is your day of victory, your day to see grace win out, your day to put the past behind you and to walk in the freedom. And that's what God has something new in store for us, and God will strengthen you, and He'll help you to begin to live that overcoming lifestyle that He's spoken over you. But you see, you can't move until the next chapter in your life if you keep rereading the last chapter. And so for many of us, it's hard for us to get past certain chapters in our lives. And we keep going back to them, and we keep reliving them over and over and over again. But how is God going to do anything new in your life if you're still dwelling in the past? So you got to let the hurt go. You got to let the anger go. You got to let the resentment go. Maybe you did something in your past that you're not proud of. Well, God forgave it. His blood covered it and washed it away. And so we need to let that chapter die down so that we can begin to read the new chapter and the new story that God is writing in our lives. He knows the beginning from the end. And so there's nothing that's going to surprise Him. But we need to step into the life that God has for us. And in order to do so, we have to lay down certain things, and we have to surrender certain things. And we can't go back and pick it up. You see people all the time will come to the altars and they'll bawl their eyes out and lay down all their burdens and cares, and they'll walk away feeling so much better. But before they leave, they come back and they gather it all up again because they don't know how to function without it. But God's come to give us not a restored life, but a renewed life, to make all things new. Philippians 3:14 says, I run straight towards the goal to win the prize that God has called me to. And that's what we have to do. We have to run straight. When Lot and his family was leaving Sodom and Gomorrah, he said, don't look back. Don't look back. He's taken us into a new land, into the promised land, flowing with milk and honey. He's taken us into, new beginnings. And we can't keep looking back. We've got to run the race straight ahead. The Olympics are going to be starting. I can guarantee you there's not going to be one Olympic runner that is running the track looking back. I guarantee you're not going to see one person do that. They're just going to keep focused ahead, looking towards that finish line. Now, it doesn't matter what place you come in. It doesn't. The important thing is you keep your eye on the prize and you finish the race. So what do we have to lose? You know, sometimes in life, we have to take chances. And there are those times that we'll eventually need to step out and take. And so we need to get to the point in our lives where we just say, God, what is it you have in store for me? What is it that you would have me to do in life? See, I'm not suggesting that we just throw caution to the wind and let go, but I'm saying that today is the day that we begin to trust in God. Because, like I said, what do we have to lose? My grandma always said, you got to believe in something in life. So what not better to believe in than God? You know, it doesn't matter if all this is just hocus pocus stuff, the Bible's not real, God's not real. You know, it doesn't matter. When I die, who cares? I'm not going to miss out on anything. I'm living the life that I want to live, in the way I want to live it. And so if I die and I realize it was all a lie, what do I have to lose? But guess what? Someone that does not believe, and they decide they're not going to, surrender their life to Christ. And they die, and then they realize it was real. Oh, what they have to lose. And so why take the chance today? Why take that chance? You see, God will not let you sink, He'll not let you fall. See, prayer is a very vital part to surrendering things to God. And we have to just commune with God today. We have to just, tell Him what it is that we want Him to do in our lives and what it is we're going to allow Him to do. Life right now can be a bit confusing, and sometimes we want to rush and get ahead of God's timing. And when we do that, we just make a mess of things. And you may feel anxiety be a bit high today and feel more stressed than normal. But why not take your cares to God and concerns to Him today? After all, what do we have to lose? Spend time in prayer today. We run and we tell everybody else our problems. Why not tell God? What do you have to lose? There's so much waiting for us if we would just give Him our doubts, our fears, and our cares. After all, think about it. Your current way of doing things, how's that working out for you? Probably not too good. I remember the story of the woman in the Bible with the issue of blood. It says she went to all the doctors, could not find out what was wrong, exhausted all her resources. I'm sure she met her deductible long ago. But it wasn't until she decided, I'm going to give God a try. What do I have to lose? I'm already sick, so if you can't heal me, I'm still going to be sick. So what do you have to lose by surrendering your life to Christ? Going to Him in prayer. Asking Him to heal you, restore you, redeem you. You see, God's way is always best. Now that doesn't mean it's the easiest way. That doesn't mean that you give your life to Him and your life is going to be perfect. I'm not going to fill you full of that at all. It says in this world we're going to have trials, we're going to have tribulation, we're going to have ups and we're going to have downs. We're going to have things that come against us and struggles. And to be completely honest with you, once you decide to get on track with God, you better believe the troubles are going to enhance because the enemy sees you now as a threat. He's going to do all that he can to get you to say, it's not worth it, and to give up. But we have to keep our eyes on Jesus and know what it is we're fighting for and the reason why we're surrendering our lives to Him. God will give you the peace, He'll give you the strength, and He will give you the comfort. Let God in your life today, and He will strengthen you. Having God in your life is the only way you're going to have joy, and that joy unspeakable. He's waiting for you to invite Him into your life. And we have to do as He says. Joshua 1:9 says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." God's not going to leave us. He's not going to forsake us. He's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. And He's always going to be there for us, no matter what. Oh, you can turn your back on God all day long, but He'll never turn His back on you. He'll never give up on you. There's people that are literally running from God today. But God loves us so much that He's not going to allow us to run so far where we're completely lost at all. Jonah in the Bible, he tried fleeing. He didn't want to do what God wanted him to do. And he wondered why there was a mighty storm. And so when we are running from God, we wonder, why are these storms coming my way? Why are these hardships coming my way? Well, because God's trying to redirect your course. He wants to get you back on that straight and narrow path. God loves us too much to let us fall into despair so deep that we're unrecognizable. And you might say, well, I'm already there. He let me go. God didn't let you go. You let God go. And so today is our day to reconcile with God. Why not? Why not give God a try? What do we have to lose? You don't need a reason to be a decent person. You don't need a reason to allow God to use you. He simply just wants to use you. He wants to bless you. And you say, oh, well, I've never did that before. I've never prayed. I never worshiped God. I never raised my hands. I've never been to church. Why not? Oh, I've never been to a Browns game, but guess what? If I give them a ticket, they'll go. So we just got to surrender things to God. Know that He has a plan, a purpose. And we have to share the love of God with others. And, it's not what we're going to offer people. I could set up a free bar up here on Sunday mornings, and I can guarantee you the place will probably be packed. Hey, go there and get free drinks, Instead of communion cups, little shots. But we shouldn't have to draw people in by begging them or baiting them. But by the love of Christ is what's going to bring people into His house. And they're only going to experience the love of Christ as we show it to them. And so we have to be willing to make a difference in someone's life. We have to be willing to go that extra mile, especially for those that don't want you to go. I said, the disciples, I said, what if someone wants me to go a mile? And they go 2 miles. Go above and beyond. So often we just get so upset and we want to lash out at other people. But all we do is damage our testimony. One day, hopefully, they'll give their life to Christ and they'll be able to look back and say, you know why I did? Because even when I wasn't the nicest person, you still loved me. And so, we just need to know that God has a plan, He has a purpose, and He wants to use us all. And we just have to be willing to be used by Him. So will you open yourselves up today to be a willing vessel that God can flow through? Will you be His outstretched arms? Will you be His mouthpiece? Will you be His feet? And will you go into the places that He will send you today? Amen? Amen. We're going to go ahead and close in prayer. If anyone needs prayer, we invite you to come up at this time.